Israel has stopped a ship carrying aid to Gaza, arresting Greta Thunberg and other well-known activists. Earlier, Israel had announced its intention to block the aid boat carrying Thunberg. The United States has used Israel has stopped a ship carrying aid to Gaza, arresting Greta Thunberg and other well-known activists. Earlier, Israel had announced its intention to block the aid boat carrying Thunberg. The United States has used its veto power to block a Security Council resolution that called for a lasting ceasefire in Gaza. Furthermore, the Trump administration has imposed sanctions on 4 judges from the International Criminal Court due to cases involving Israel and the United States.
Trump has set a goal to achieve 400 gigawatts of nuclear energy by the year 2050, with plans to have 10 large nuclear reactors under construction by the year 2030. Trump has removed the ban on supersonic flights in the United States, proclaiming his initiative as making aviation great again. Furthermore, he is seeking $1 billion to support private sector-driven exploration of Mars.
In the United States, National Guard soldiers have been deployed to Los Angeles as immigration demonstrations escalate into violence. In a heated exchange titled Deranged, California Governor Gavin Newsom and Fox News host Jesse Hegseth exchange sharp words. The Defense Secretary is contemplating the deployment of Marines to Los Angeles, a move that Newsom criticizes Hegseth for suggesting. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy defends the potential deployment, stating it would not be overly aggressive. Newsom faces a warning about potential criminal tax evasion if he decides to withhold federal taxes, a strategy he previously considered in response to Trump's threats against California. Fox News provides commentary as Besant criticizes Newsom's reckless proposal to withhold $80 billion in federal taxes amid a controversy involving transgender athletes. Trump warns of troops everywhere and promises to prosecute any California officials who hinder deportations. Trump had a conversation with Xi Jinping regarding trade matters and mentioned that discussions between the United States and China are expected to begin again soon. European companies that supply the automotive industry have closed their factories due to China's restriction on the supply of rare earth elements, according to an association. In response, automakers are urgently seeking alternative solutions to China's dominant control over rare earth magnets. Putin has given the green light for a significant overhaul of Russia's navy, as stated by a Kremlin aide.
An asset manager associated with Trump has submitted an application to the SEC for a Bitcoin ETF related to Truth Social. The Trump organization is seeking a comprehensive trademark that includes a wide range of products, from crypto wallets to virtual cologne. Switzerland has approved the exchange of cryptocurrency tax information with 74 countries. In the United States, Citibank is revising its policies to avoid debanking customers based on their ownership of firearms or their political opinions.
The U.S. Education Department has issued a warning to Columbia University, threatening its accreditation due to concerns about anti-Semitism on campus. This move is part of a broader effort by Trump officials to address pro-Palestine protests at Columbia. Trump has suspended the entry of foreign students intending to study at Harvard, and Secretary McMahon is urging Harvard to engage in negotiations with the Trump administration. Furthermore, Trump is planning to reduce Pell Grants, which could potentially restrict access to higher education for low-income students. Iran's supreme leader, Khamenei, has dismissed the United States' proposal for a nuclear deal and has pledged to continue enriching uranium. In response to Iran's negative reaction to the U.S. offer, former President Trump accused Iran of slow-walking the process. The Wall Street Journal has reported that Iran has placed orders with China for materials necessary to produce hundreds of ballistic missiles. A think tank has revealed that the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, discovered that Iran conducted and concealed implosion tests in 2003, which are crucial for developing a nuclear weapon.
The Wall Street Journal has disclosed that Meta is in discussions with Disney and A24 regarding content for its upcoming virtual reality headset. Semaphore has reported that Netflix has acquired the pilot for Daily Beast TV as it competes with YouTube. Asus is set to unveil the new ROG Xbox Ally and ROG Xbox Ally X gaming handhelds, which promise to deliver the ultimate gaming experience by combining the features of Xbox and Windows PC in a single handheld device. Amazon is getting ready to conduct trials with humanoid robots designed to deliver packages. The Transportation Security Administration, TSA, is developing haptic technology that allows users to experience the sensation of touch in virtual reality environments. An academy in Beijing has introduced an open-source AI model called RoboBrain, which is intended for use in China's humanoid robots.
Elon Musk has stated that SpaceX's revenue is projected to surpass NASA's budget by the year 2026. It has been reported that missions to Mars using the Starship spacecraft months. Furthermore, scientists have indicated that there is an estimated value of over $1 trillion in platinum that could potentially be extracted from the craters on the moon. The Wall Street Journal has also reported that disinformation from the Pentagon has contributed to the development of America's UFO mythology.
According to a report by Bloomberg, it has been revealed that Chinese hackers infiltrated a United States telecommunications company approximately 1 year prior to the wireless breaches that were previously known. Russian intelligence
aimed at reducing confusion in identifying threat actors. China has accused Taiwan of operating 5-week Advanced Persistent Threat (APT) groups, allegedly with assistance from the United States. OpenAI has discovered that more Chinese groups are utilizing ChatGPT for harmful activities.
Semaphore has disclosed that Business Insider has been suggesting books that do not exist to its employees as it increasingly incorporates AI into its operations. The Washington Post is considering allowing amateur writers to contribute columns, assisted by AI technology. Furthermore, OpenAI is retaining deleted ChatGPT conversations as part of its ongoing legal proceedings with the New York Times.
Hegseth is proposing a change in the name of a Navy ship that currently honors Harvey Milk, a prominent figure in the gay rights movement. The Trump administration has decided to terminate the emergency abortion requirement that was previously in place for hospitals. Furthermore, The Atlantic has published an article stating that the Trump administration is allocating $2 million to investigate whether diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) initiatives are linked to plane crashes.
Polymarket and Elon Musk's platform, X, have revealed a collaboration in the realm of prediction markets. Meta is engaged in discussions regarding a substantial investment in Scale AI, which might exceed $10 billion. Sam Altman's innovative technology for identification through eye scanning is now being introduced in the United Kingdom.
Rwanda has decided to leave the Central African Regional Group, citing claims of interference by the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Research indicates that caffeine consumption enhances the brain's complexity during sleep, moving it closer to a critical state. A court in California has ruled that using a phone to access maps while driving is against the law.
A Chinese aircraft carrier has navigated near Japan's easternmost island for the first time. The head of AFRICOM has cautioned that China is trying to mimic the United States' aid efforts as Washington reduces its involvement. There have been reports of an increase in Chinese propaganda following the U.S. decision to cut funding for Radio Free Asia. Furthermore, it has been noted that China is playing a significant role in the development of Egypt's new capital, which is expected to accommodate 6 million residents, by providing $15 billion in support for its construction. Elon Musk removed a post where he promised to apologize to Donald Trump if the former president released all the Epstein files. Previously, their conflict intensified when Musk claimed Trump was mentioned in the Epstein files. Musk also stated that Trump would have lost the 2024 election without his support, while their big, beautiful bill feud persisted. In response, Trump informed CNN that he wasn't considering Musk and wouldn't communicate with him for some time, labeling Musk as the man who has lost his mind as their dispute continued. Steve Bannon commented on Musk's situation, saying, "Told you," and suggested deporting Musk during this tumultuous breakup with Trump. A Russian official mentioned that Moscow is prepared to offer Musk asylum if needed, as Musk contemplates forming a third party amid his ongoing conflict with Trump.
Forward reports that in the United States, the head of the Anti-Defamation League, ADL, has equated student protesters with ISIS and Al-Qaeda during a speech to Republican officials. This has led to condemnation from the Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR, which labeled ADL CEO Jonathan Greenblatt's remarks as an unhinged, racist rant targeting Black and Palestinian Americans. The Muslim Public Affairs Council, MPAC, is calling for an apology from Greenblatt for his comparison of student protesters to these terrorist groups. Documents from Hamas allegedly reveal significant connections and coordination with Qatar and the terror group. In other news, Israeli arms sales have set a new record for the fourth consecutive year, reaching $14.8 billion in 2024. However, Spain has decided to cancel a $325 million purchase of anti-tank missiles from Israel's Rafael. Trump claims that Los Angeles will be liberated as protests against ICE persist, while the Department of Homeland Security reports that ICE has apprehended some of the most dangerous illegal immigrants in Los Angeles, including individuals guilty of murder, sexual offenses, and other violent crimes. Trump's administration has requested Serbia, a friendly nation, to take in deportees. Furthermore, Trump has signed a travel ban affecting nationals from 12 countries, with additional restrictions on 7 more, and he mentions that Egypt is not included in the travel ban because they have things under control.
Chinese companies specializing in artificial intelligence are reportedly bypassing U.S. chip restrictions by smuggling suitcases filled with hard drives. These hard drives are being used to train AI models in Malaysia, where they rent servers for this purpose. A U.S. commerce official has stated that Huawei's production of AI semiconductors will be capped at 200,000 units by the year 2025. NVIDIA has unveiled its ambitious AI master plan for Europe, which includes the establishment of 20 factories, significant advancements in quantum computing, and a tenfold increase in computing power. NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, has expressed confidence that Europe's current shortage in AI computing capabilities will soon be addressed. Iran has declared its exit from the 6th round of discussions with the United States, labeling the nuclear negotiations as meaningless following an Israeli airstrike. This decision comes despite former President Trump's offer of a second chance. The Israeli strikes have resulted in the deaths of several of Iran's most influential figures, including military and nuclear leaders, and have targeted over 100 locations in Iran, including nuclear sites. According to Reuters, experts indicate that the damage to Iran's nuclear facilities remains minimal. The UN Nuclear Watchdog Board has determined that Iran is not adhering to its obligations, prompting Iran to announce the establishment of a new nuclear enrichment site in response to the UN's criticism. A Chinese envoy has called on Israel to cease its risky attacks on Iran, cautioning about the serious consequences that could arise.
The National Weather Service in the United States has issued the first ever heat advisory for Alaska. A study indicates that China's Yellow River is expected to experience ice jams as a result of global warming. According to EU scientists, May was the second hottest month globally on record. Trump has redirected the focus of deportations, temporarily halting most raids on farms, hotels, and restaurants, while instructing ICE to intensify deportation efforts in cities that are strongholds for Democrats. The Washington Post notes that the United States might experience a net loss of immigrants for the first time in half a century. The Wall Street Journal reports that ICE raids have caused Latino shoppers to go into hiding, negatively impacting major brands. Trump asserts his authority in defining what America First entails, and his administration is contemplating the addition of 36 countries to the travel ban list.
Elon Musk expressed regret over some of his posts about Donald Trump, stating he had gone too far. The White House press secretary mentioned that Trump acknowledged Musk's apology. According to the New York Times, Musk had a conversation with Trump before issuing his message of regret. Trump referred to Musk as a friend who had become a bit unusual. In the United States, federal agencies were reportedly monitoring foreigners visiting Musk, concerned they might be attempting to influence him.
Rioters in Northern Ireland have set fire to homes and a refuge site. CNN has reported that the Trump administration has informed migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela that their legal status has been terminated. A large crowd gathered for a second protest in the Netherlands, demanding government action against Israel.
Trump announces that the trade agreement with China is finalized, with tariffs established at 55%, while Chinese-supported Temu begins selling directly to the U.S. following a trade truce between Washington and Beijing. The Wall Street Journal indicates that China has imposed a 6-month restriction on the facilitation of rare earth export licenses, coinciding with Trump's statement that China will provide rare earths, and the U.S. will permit student entry. Reuters notes that the US-China trade truce has not resolved the issue of rare earths intended for military use, according to sources.
The European Central Bank's Christine Lagarde has softly encouraged China to modify its current practices. An appeals court has ruled that the tariffs imposed by former President Trump can remain in place for an extended period. France has implemented a ban on influencers who promote ultra-fast fashion.
The Russian president has enacted a law that confirms an agreement for constructing a petroleum product pipeline in Congo. Germany is prioritizing rail infrastructure in its €500 billion investment initiative. Vietnam has been recognized as a partner country by BRICS, as announced by Brazil, while the United States is urging Vietnam to reduce its reliance on Chinese technology, according to sources.
The U.S. Actors Union has halted a year-long strike related to video games after reaching a preliminary agreement concerning artificial intelligence. Disney and Universal have taken legal action against Midjourney, accusing the company of creating AI-generated versions of their most iconic characters. While the number of visits to pirate websites has decreased to 216 billion annually, there is a significant rise in the piracy of manga.
Researchers in China have discovered the initial proof suggesting that artificial intelligence might possess the capability to think in a manner similar to humans. Mattel has partnered with OpenAI to assist in the creation of toys and various other products. China has taken the step of closing down AI tools during the period of nationwide college examinations.
IBM claims breakthrough in quantum error correction. The U.S. Navy supports the right to repair following a $13 billion carrier crew's experience of being half-fed due to contractor-locked ovens. A U.S. judge decides that Deere must confront the FTC's antitrust lawsuit regarding repair costs.
The White House has suggested eliminating the 988 suicide hotline services specifically designed for LGBTQ youth. In Japan, there is a call for the government to adopt more pessimistic population projections due to a significant decrease in birth rates. An Air India plane crash has resulted in the deaths of at least 241 people, with only one passenger surviving. Shopify has collaborated with Coinbase and Stripe in a significant stablecoin agreement. The CEO of GameStop has stated that the company's future prospects do not lie in the gaming industry. Walmart and Amazon are currently investigating the possibility of creating their own stablecoins. Humans have observed the sun's poles for the first time. Unusual radio signals have been identified emanating from the ice in Antarctica. Experiencing several severe climate events while pregnant might have a cumulative impact on the development of a child's brain.
The U.S. Justice Department has stated that Donald Trump has the authority to revoke the status of national monuments that safeguard natural landscapes. Trump has declared his intention to revert the names of several military bases to their original titles, which were altered during Joe Biden's presidency. Furthermore, the Grammy Awards have introduced a new category called Best Traditional Country Album, following Beyoncé's recent win.
YouTube aims to safeguard free speech by reducing its content moderation efforts. A source indicates that the Washington Post is conducting an investigation into a cyber attack targeting journalists' email accounts. Meta's Llama 3.1 has the capability to remember 42% of the content from the first Harry Potter book. Whole Foods has issued a warning about potential product shortages following a cyber attack on its main distributor, UNFI. The United Nations has raised concerns that terrorists might exploit driverless cars to create deadly weapons known as slaughterbots. Citizen Lab has discovered that spyware developed by a US-backed Israeli company has been used to target journalists in Europe.
The UK regulatory body is conducting an investigation into potential violations of online safety standards on platforms such as 4chan and others. The UK government is set to launch a national investigation into organised child sexual abuse, following significant pressure from Elon Musk. In France, a group of drivers has initiated a lawsuit against Tesla, citing Elon Musk's right-wing political views as the reason for their legal action. The World Bank has decided to remove its restriction on providing financial support for nuclear energy projects, which is expected to give a significant boost to the nuclear energy industry. The World Bank has indicated that the 2020s are projected to be the most economically challenging decade globally since the 1960s. The United Nations is urging for more rapid and decisive action to combat child labor, as the world is currently on track to fall short of the target to eliminate this practice by the year 2025. Trump announces plans to phase out FEMA post-hurricane season, believing governors can manage disasters. In the United States, the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, is taking steps to eliminate restrictions on greenhouse gas emissions from power plants. The Trump administration has decided to withdraw from an agreement with Northwest tribes aimed at restoring salmon populations. The United States is reassessing the AUKUS agreement to align it with the America First policy, which an expert suggests is a strategy to maximize financial gains from its allies. China's nuclear arsenal is rapidly increasing, and by 2030, its intercontinental ballistic missiles might reach the numbers of those possessed by the United States and Russia, according to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, SIPRI. Researchers have also cautioned that the global expansion of nuclear weapons is primarily being driven by the US and Russia. Saab has made history by testing an AI-powered combat capability on its Gripen jets. Axios has reported that Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has requested the United States to facilitate negotiations between Israel and Syria. In the context of Israel's Operation Rising Lion, former U.S. President Donald Trump has refuted any involvement of the United States, while Iran asserts it possesses solid proof of American backing. U.S. officials have disclosed that Trump vetoed an Israeli plan to assassinate Iran's supreme leader. Trump has also suggested that Iran and Israel should fight it out to achieve a resolution. Axios further reports that Israel's strike on Iran was planned over an 8-month period. Elon Musk has announced the activation of Starlink in Tehran after the Iranian regime disconnected citizens from the internet during Israeli strikes. The United States is also working to restore VOA's Persian service amid the ongoing Iran-Israel conflict.
The Fulbright board has stepped down following allegations of political interference by aides to former President Trump. In the United States, the Congressional Budget Office, CBO, has indicated that the GOP tax bill would impose an annual cost of $1,600 on low-income Americans while increasing the earnings of the highest earners by $12,000. President Trump has disclosed an income exceeding $600 million, derived from cryptocurrency, golf, and licensing fees, including a $57 million profit from his involvement with the crypto venture World Liberty Financial.
Yi Fei, China's inaugural victor at the Le Mans 24 Hours race, expresses that he feels like he's in a dream after achieving a historic triumph alongside Robert Kubica and Antonio Hansen in a privately owned Ferrari. Konami and Bloober have confirmed that Silent Hill 1 is set to receive a complete remake. An Oregon restaurant has introduced lab-grown salmon to its menu following the FDA's approval of the cell-cultured product.
NPR has noted that North Koreans, who are currently fighting for Russia against Ukraine, have become adept at using drones in warfare. Russia has moved its strategic bombers following a drone attack by Ukraine, which was described as a spider's web. There is a warning that the United States should focus on enhancing its drone defense capabilities to prevent experiencing a similar situation to Russia. Furthermore, 10 days ago, Ukraine released new footage showcasing bold AI-driven strikes that severely damaged Putin's bomber fleet.
The Food and Drug Administration, FDA, plans to incorporate artificial intelligence, AI, into the drug approval process to significantly boost efficiency. There have been remarks suggesting that the ancient miasma theory might provide insight into Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s decisions regarding vaccines. Furthermore, digital rights organizations have reported